Okay, so immediately to address this, I want to be clear about the fact that I'm not really wanting so much to actually be filming this. However, I have never, until not long ago today, not ever really spoken out loud how I've felt about myself for the majority of my life. And the reason that I'm making this video is two-part. It's one part because I'm not really sure if I can trust myself genuinely at this point to stay alive, because I genuinely, me as myself. Look, here's the thing. Let me back this up and explain, because I'm sure to someone random tuning in, this is like, WTF. Since the time that I was roughly 8, I have known that I was here to do something. And I know that that's probably something everybody says, but really, I knew I was meant to do something greater than just have the normal life on this earth. And yet, if you look at my life, I'm 40 years old, by the way. If you look at my life, I've never had a proper way of sustaining income, literally ever, since I graduated high school and then subsequently college. I have not once had a regular job, and I have struggled immensely to earn income from anywhere, anyhow, at any point of my life. And the reason that I'm talking about it is not to complain, it's to highlight that this is a truth of my life. It's not like something that I over dramatize so that people can feel bad for me. And I know that this video is going to be raw and emotional and pretty messed up. So if you watch, just be ready for that. Because for once in my life, I need to document how I am, how life is for me. You know, if you guys are familiar much at all with Robin Williams' life, one of the things that always struck me about him as a comedian, which I didn't know for a very long time, till maybe I was in my older teens and college, is that he, you know, and you could say as a result of his depression, became a comedian in a way. Like, that's how he coped with his being sad all the time. I'm generalizing a little there, I guess. I'm imagining what it must have been like. And I can tell you, for whether, you know, listen, hearing this, you may have two reactions. One, you'd be like, get over yourself, cry baby. And the other, some of you may understand where I'm coming from. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Because like I said, I'm honestly, I'm making this video for me, because I've never, and maybe if it comes to it, for people in my life to understand that this was not something I said to make my life seem so much harder than anyone else's life. I genuinely really struggle with these things and have exhausted the resources that I feel like I have to make any more change. You know, I know that people in the spiritual community like to say that there's all sorts of, I mean, I could go on and on. There are cliche thing after cliche thing that spiritual gurus and people like to say. And quite honestly, I've been a part of that community. And despite all of it, I still have a hard time with feeling like I'm worth anything, because I have to date not had a system of making income. And I'm just tired of not acknowledging that that makes me so incredibly sad. And I'm tired of not acknowledging the fact that I have a shitty, low self-worth all the time, because it's hard for me to remove the idea of someone would pay you if they thought you were worth it, or if you had literally anything within you that anybody wanted, they'd be paying you for it. And because they're not, it means you're worthless. And I know on some level that that should be bullshit. I get it. But that does not take away from 40 years. It's like I was saying to my family a little earlier, because I really kind of feel like I'm at the end of my rope. And that sounds very much like I'm trying to get some kind of reaction from you guys. And I assure you that's not why I'm saying it. I literally, you guys know how burned out I am. My nervous system is fried. My mind is hanging by a thread, and my heart is broken right now. And if I don't make one real, fully real, authentic video, even if I'm blubbering and ugly crying, which, by the way, I'm fully aware that I'm an ugly crier, so save your judgmental comments for someone else's video. I just genuinely, guys, I don't have it in me anymore. For example, I was talking about the spiritual cliche statements and things that people say, and things like, and I know that this is also true, but I have to tell you that as someone who's struggling to kind of get by or whatever in your life, at a point, if you hear this, it's so frustrating to hear things like, the better it gets, and like, oh, well, if you're stuck, it's because you're not making changes. Yo, listen, if you've been familiar with me for the last 2 years, you know that everything in my life has been in constant state of flux. And I take nothing for granted. I appreciate every single thing, person, place that enters my life. And it's just, I am frustrated and I am tired, to be perfectly honest, of playing this earth game. I don't have any friends in my vicinity, like my physical, tangible, day-to-day life, that get me at all. And the only ones that I have, this sounds really strange, I'm sure, but for so many of them, save maybe 1 or 2 of them, all of my other friends, it essentially like requires me to pay to hang out with them, if you get what I mean. It's part of this like culture of, well, if you want, my time is so precious that actually you have to, hire me for a one-on-one call if you even want to see me. And frankly, guys, I feel like we should have friendships outside of paywalls, but that's a tangent for some other time, which may not ever come, because the point of this video is that the reason I am this upset and decided, frick it, I'm gonna make I don't know if it'll be unedited. I can't promise that, because I know that editing me seeing this is going to be cringing, unless by some other miracle I don't edit this at all. It's hard for me to imagine in this moment, but you never know. Because I'm ugly crying and I hate watching myself back. Honestly, when I edit, I'm not a fan of watching myself back. It really upsets me anyway. So the point is that for the better part, and I'm not saying this self-deprecatingly, I really mean this, and hopefully those of you who, can sense my truth in this will know that I would not be sitting here bawling if this wasn't all true. The majority of my life, all I was focused on was getting to this goal. Funny that I'm speaking about this on the heels of the video I made the other day, but whatever. And all I wanted was the family and a house. That's it. That's as high as I ever dreamt. I mean, no, when I was a kid, I had dreams of being like a marine biologist and, performing musician and whatever. And what I was realizing today, this is the really upsetting part, is that lately I've been walking around my life fully present and conscious and watching my life as if I'm already dead. I don't know how else to explain it. I basically see that I have zero impact upon anyone. I mean, I was thinking in the shower the other night, I'm blessed and grateful to have somehow amazingly 700 people that actually follow me here. So for those of you, I appreciate you who are here maybe watching this. I can't anymore, guys. I can't hold this inside anymore. For literally like a decade, I've just been so sad and trying so hard, and I always shouldn't say that, but trying so hard to get my life together, to really make anything work, to have a good, healthy relationship, to have with someone, for long-term, forever, ideally, whatever, I shouldn't even say that far, because I've had, by the way, a handful of long-term, really committed, really important, meaningful relationships, and ultimately they all, I don't want to use the word failed, but ultimately they weren't right at the end. And even though they were, good relationships, some of them were lessons, full of lessons, but anyway. The point is that in 40 years, I feel behind. I feel frustrated because I know I'm here to do something, and everyone these days is just saying, oh, well, doing things on purpose means that you're living in your purpose. I'm here to tell you that if you're telling people that, please stop, because people in my position, it just hurts. It just hurts, because I have wanted to be in my purpose, whatever it is, since I was 8 years old. So when you tell somebody that, you're just kind of rubbing it in that they're not there yet. Or like, I don't know, it's just so unbelievably infantilizing. It's like, yeah, take a baby step and maybe you'll get there eventually. Like, don't insult people like that, please. So I wanted to acknowledge how I'm actually feeling right in this very moment, because even though it's literally making me feel disgusting because I look atrocious, my hair is a mess, I am sweating because I'm talking about me, which I don't like doing. I am just hyper aware of everything. And honestly, guys, I'm literally shaking. I don't want to do this anymore. And I don't mean YouTube. I mean life. And I know we're not supposed to talk about that stuff. We're not supposed to say it. But holy hell, when you're me and you have spent this much of your life being, I'm sorry, but unsuccessful at lifing in any way, shape, or form. Like, again, I don't have friends. My friends are locked behind paywalls. You want to meet with me, you have to attend my class, master class, whatever, right? That's not the kind of friendship that I'm calling in. And anyway, I'm feeling really sad, really alone, and really what's sort of making me unnerved, and is, I think, the underlying reason that I'm even filming this, is that I think a part of me wants to live, but honestly, most of me now doesn't. Most of me is like, okay, so let me assess. Multiple relationships, none of those stuck. Multiple friendships, none of those stuck. Multiple attempts to be paid for something that you're actually good at, none of that stuck or even paid you well, ever. Like, seriously, for context, the only jobs I have ever had were when I was a teenager in high school and we were getting paid I was a musician, you guys know I'm a musician. We were paid. I played the piccolo and the flute for an opera house production of The Man of La Mancha, and I loved it. It was an excellent experience. However, I can tell you one thing, that I didn't do it for the money, and two, that if I was expected to live upon that money now, it's not survivable wages. So that's the other thing that is bothering me. I don't like that I now have essentially a price tag on my head that I am costing the people in my life to live because I can't figure out how to make money. As I speak, there's police sirens going off. Anyway, if this seems waffly, I'm sorry. If you don't want to watch this, you don't have to keep watching this. I had to sit down here and fully authentically. I mean, it's not like the anxiety video was a barrel of monkeys to make. That sucked, actually. I was feeling really sick when I made that. And this is not fun to be filming right now either. I'm super self-conscious. I don't like looking at myself. I don't like seeing my puffy face and all the everything. And I guess a part of me, if I'm being completely honest, is making this just in case, because most of me, like I articulated, doesn't want to keep living. That's the truth. I don't want to. I don't see the point. I have spent the better part of 40 years doing everything. I'm not kidding, guys. This is not just something I'm saying for the heck of it. Doing everything in my power to change my situation up so that things would start to flow in a more positive direction. And despite every single effort I've ever made and taken, and no matter how much I have really believed it, because that's what we hear a lot about now is, well, if you believe it first, then it will come. Really? To those mentors who are saying that, I really question you in this moment, because my belief was there. You know, if you have been following my videos and you know the last few months have been better for me in a general sense, the overall of my life, really, in many ways, until, you know, maybe give or take the last 6 to 9, but like the last 4 years have generally been a roller coaster, but they were improving. And now I feel like I am still just at the same point. And I'm honestly tired. I'm tired of feeling worthless. I'm tired of feeling like, not even feeling. I literally, guys, I go out there in the world and I exist among the world, people of the world. And I realized yesterday that I walk around in past tense. Like, I don't know how to explain that. That sounds so weird out of context. It's as if when I'm out there looking at the world, I'm looking at it without me even being in it as it is now even. Like, I'm not even... It's like people look right through me. I know that that's like a not good self-worth thought that people have, but truly, people look right through me. if I have a purpose, which I know that I do, I just wish to God that the universe, the God, whatever it is, would stop being so stingy with just showing me what it is. I understand, guys, by the way, I understand that the journey of life, hell, I've spoken about this, is a journey, as in you can't just, boom, there's the whole thing. I get that. However, every other person that I have ever met in my entire freaking life has had a job that has paid them, or at least one semi-positive relationship, and I just feel like, I don't know if I've spoken about this before on the channel. I think I may have briefly touched on it, but honestly, I don't think I wanted to get into it in that video. There was something I was doing for a class recently where we were doing sort of a life review type thing of our life up until this point. And the question that was posed was something like, because it was getting us to reflect on our lives. And the question was something along the lines of, I am paraphrasing, not quoting, something like, in your life, what are 3 things that you've accomplished, or like 3 things that you consider to be major accomplishments in your life? I don't know if I've spoken about this on the channel, but I kid you not, I had an existential crisis when that question came around, because I realized that I feel like I have contributed nothing to the world, absolutely nothing. And that is regularly why I spend this time being like, why am I on Earth? Why should I be here? No, nobody wants anything from me. My sharing comedy doesn't light anyone up. Nobody, like, am I just not? So I'm tired, honestly. I'm physically tired. I'm tired of being sad. I'm tired of looking at these beautiful people that I know and wondering what's wrong with me. And I know we're not supposed to say that and affirm that, but holy crap, it's how I feel. When I go out there in the world, guys, external to the screen where I'm blessed to share space with you all, it's like I don't even exist to everybody. Nobody sees me. I could go, and before you go, oh, well, some part of you may have a payoff for not being seen. No, I really, to a point, maybe I get your point. However, though, no, like, I don't want to be fully invisible. I don't think anyone really does, truthfully. And I'm seeing this is getting very long, so I'm going to try not to keep waffling. The reasons I wanted to document this is many. And that's a terrible English sentence, but whatever. One is, in case I am no longer here, then the people that were in my life that are, what do I even say when I'm dead? Do I say that people were in my life? I don't know what I will say when I've crossed over. At any rate, I don't know what tense I'm supposed to use. I'm making the video so that if people have questions and anything does happen, they can understand why I did anything, if I did do anything, which I'm not saying I'm going to, but I'm worried enough about my own state of whatever that, because like I said, guys, here's the kicker, and I could be wrong about this, I don't know, but I feel like when it comes to depression and things like that, a lot of people accept that people who are depressed have the desire to take themselves out. So a lot of the time when people look at me, someone so comedic and lighthearted and funny going and yada yada, they're like, what do you mean you want to die? I can't, and again, it's not really something I can verbally explain to you. It's just, yeah, it's not something I can explain, I've realized. It's a soul feeling. It's like a soul heartache for being able to do something and you have no idea, not a Scooby, by the way, what exactly you're supposed to be doing. Like, look, if we look at my life and my gifts, my particular gift that I was born with, which I'm blessed to have, is music. However, has music paid me or healed me or helped me specifically? No. Are people going crazy for my music? Not so far as I can tell. Also, I'm not able to teach it, whatever. There's a whole bunch of I'm at a point in my life where unless, let me reword this, in the moment, unless the universe decides to start making use of me or allowing me to discover what my actual purpose is on somehow besides just saying, oh, it's music. Come on. I know that. I've been a musician my whole life. And you know what I mean? I'm truthfully, guys, I don't mean to start raising my voice. I'm frustrated with the universe or God or whatever, because I don't understand You know, the going monologue right now is like, well, everything we call into our reality, we asked for, or like we incarnated with this. And I do believe that to be true. And yet I'm like here going, okay, higher self, why in the actual heck would we want to go through this? I feel like I wouldn't want to. That's the thing of it all. That's the kicker. I feel like my higher self didn't want this for me. So what am I doing? And the really depressing part, really, is that genuinely some days, I'm sorry to say, I genuinely feel like the world would be better without me in it. Would be better off if I was dead. Maybe people posthumously could get what I was trying to say when I was alive. I don't know. And I know there's probably a portion of people who will watch this and think I'm being obnoxious. And there's a portion of people who will watch this and maybe cry and understand where I'm coming from. And there's a portion of people, who knows? You're entitled to your judgments and your views and your thoughts about this. But for once in my life, even though it's super hard, and even though I'm super embarrassed about feeling like I'm being a baby, but I'm so heartbroken inside, guys, about everything. I feel like I failed life. Like I feel like I failed the universe. And on a side weird tangent about that, by the way, and you happen to be a gamer like me, I invite you to, at some point along your, time gaming, if you play Minecraft, I invite you to finish it one day. Because I got to see the ending through someone that I watch play online, and this sounds ridiculous me saying it, but I bawled like this throughout the entire ending of Minecraft, which I am a 40-year-old adult woman. So let's just say that Minecraft has heart that I didn't even know. Anyway, I'm blessed that I got to see the ending of that, but that ending had me crying and also had me wondering, what is my damn purpose? What is it? I swear to you guys, I just want to walk in my purpose. That's like all I want from life. I'd like to be happy and I'd like to walk in my purpose. I've always felt like I'm supposed to help people, but I don't know how I'm supposed to help. So, despite the fact that every part of me is begging me not to post this, and I literally feel like the sloppiest, messiest mess I've ever been. And I'm literally sitting here looking at this going, who's going to watch a 22-minute video of you having a breakdown? No one. And you know what? If that's okay. If no one does, that's okay. The point of the video was primarily to document it. Both for myself to express what is real and true in my reality. I also have to add this, my therapist at the moment did this funny exercise with me, which I imagine was supposed to help in some way, where she basically got me to budget what I cost, like what are my costs of living. And what I want to share about that is twofold and stressful, is that now I feel like I have a price tag because I know exactly what I'm costing the people that I live with, and I still have just as much I'm still just as much in the same financial situation, therefore unable to even pay for my own needs. And I don't know how to exist in a world, like in my mind, that world, that's not a possibility for me to just be a consistent leech for the rest of forever. That's not a life I would be happy living. And that's just not my way. I'm here to contribute. I'm not here to be a leech and suck from somebody else. And the fact that I am the age that I am and have essentially never managed until this point still to break out of this financial whatever the heck is making me crazy. I am so depressed. And I brought up the thing about the therapist because I was a little bit shook by the fact that the therapist seemingly knowing that I was very anxious. I mean, they know I'm anxious anyway. That's what I'm getting help for. But even knowing that I was am anxious and was anxious, particularly about this area with finances, the fact that they're now on vacation during the week, the timing of it is hilarious to me because I thought that's not something you're supposed to do, is like give your client, if you're a therapist, a stressful situation to handle right before you disappear. Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense to me to do that, but that's what she did. And so I emailed her before she actually went away, before we had our last session. So to say, I'm super overwhelmed and this is making me feel unstable. And it was like, whatever. And then she was telling me that we're taking baby steps and she knows it's feeling really excruciating. And I'm like, I gotta be honest with you guys. I thought to myself, screw baby steps. I am 40 years old. I did not come to you for baby steps. I do not need to take baby steps. I do not want to take baby steps to my financial freedom, which is a concept which, to be perfectly honest, I don't even know what it means. And I had a beautiful, beautiful mentor actually make the smart suggestion that if you don't know like what financial freedom means to you, maybe you should figure out what quantifiable number that might look like for you, like actually budget it out. So thank you, Lucy, for that one, by the way. God help me if you're actually watching this. I hope you're not. But one day, you never know, you might see this and maybe turn it off. Anyway. So I wanted to say that even though I'm a comedian, and even though everything I say here in my videos has been truth, this is what I'm dealing with right now. And to be truthful with you guys, I don't really want to keep showing up anymore in my life. In any sense, I don't really want to eat because everything I eat hurts my stomach, and no one has any idea what that's about. I have anxiety very, very, very often, if not all the time, because my relationships have crumbled to shit. And I have nothing to really cling to show that there's a shred of hope at the end of the tunnel. And it's funny that I'm filming this while it's pouring rain outside. It suits my mood. When I was a kid, I used to jokingly be like, the weather is mimicking my internal environment, pouring down rain when I was sad. So this has been a vlog. Whether it was helpful in any way, I have no idea. Know that if you felt any of this, you're not alone. Oh my God, you're not alone. I hope you're not feeling any of this, but if you are, know that you're absolutely not alone. I really pray that the universe gives me some clues here, because yes, I know what some of my talents are, but none of them have been something which, when I've ever applied them, have allowed me to achieve sustainable income, ever. And it's very hard for me to build confidence in myself and to believe that I'm worthy when I'm stuck in that area. I really genuinely don't know what to do. And like I said, I'm making this video because one of two things is going to happen. Either I'll keep plodding on, or the part of me that has been fighting, wanting to go home to the stars, wherever that is, home which is not here on earth, I might add. I've been homesick for a home I don't even know where it exists. But, honestly, the very sobering part is that most of me is like, maybe people are supposed to learn from you posthumously. Maybe that's my lesson. My lesson was my short life. That'd be sad. I wanted to share beauty and healing and love with people. That's all I've ever wanted to do, and laughs. I love to see people laughing. And the fact that I can't even pull myself out of this unbelievable depression and self-worth hole is honestly just demoralizing and makes me want to not keep playing this game that life is. So I just keep wondering if I've changed so many things, guys. Nothing about my life is the same. I'm not the same. So I just don't understand, and I'm not sure how much longer, genuinely, my soul can or will want to take this level of sadness. Because I have lots of people that I love in my life. And I feel so stifled by being unable to give back. I mean, I guess it makes sense that I can't earn income at the moment because I'm not able to actually give. Though, truthfully, guys, that is why I've been so present on the YouTube channel, because I'm genuinely here to try to give some sort of value. The only value that I feel like I have, my experience. So, I have no idea if this will ever help anyone. I have a hard time imagining that because of how the things that have been said and shared, but I do pray that somehow there is something in this for someone, and if not, feel free to, discard it. You don't have to watch, like I said. I appreciate you if you did hold the space for me, because I'm honestly struggling so much right now. And I'm pretty good at putting on a brave face and appearing like I'm fine for my own detriment and not. So if you've been here for this long, just thank you for listening. I'm really working on trying to get things together, but I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be able to hold out, because the reality is that I am so sad so much of the time, and I look around at these people having these great lives and I get so sad. And by the way, I'm not even talking about looking on social media. I don't even do that. These are just people that I know now, which is a blessing, and also like, what the heck? How can I be at this level with these people but be where I am? It doesn't make any sense. And I'm so tired. I'm starting to think like maybe it really is my destiny to pass away so people can learn. I don't know, maybe that's just a cop out. Maybe that's although I don't count it as an easy way, but maybe that's the easy way. I don't know. So again, I don't know if this video will see the light of day, but I thought, this has to, even if I put this up here and it's not something that the world sees, even if I put it up unlisted and only release it, well, I don't even know. I keep saying that. And then a part of me, this is insane, right? A part of me keeps chiming and going, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be around to worry about it. So what do you care what happens after you release the video? And I still care, though. I don't want anyone to come away from this with anything negative. That's all I've ever tried to spread out there was love and positivity and good vibes. So if this has in any way helped you to feel less alone, then I'm blessed for that, with that blessing. If this helps anyone in any way, I just needed to speak my full truth, at least just once, to say, I am not okay. It is not okay for someone who has the unbelievable burning desire to help people as much as I do, not to be able to figure out the way to help. It's so soul crushing. There's no other word for it. It's literally soul crushing. So anyway, I know you guys probably didn't catch it, but I also was recently going through a breakup, and that's been hard as well. And honestly, I'm just having a hard time staying positive, or even looking, here's the sad part, even bothering to look for light at the end of tunnel, or trying to convince myself to stay here. I'm kind of like, you know what, you got a point. Maybe we would be better off. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sorry for the waffle. I'm not sorry that I said it. If you've sat here for it, well, I don't know how you feel about it. You can tell me if you'd like to in the comments. I know this wasn't easy to listen to or to watch, and I know most of you probably are like, maybe you haven't even watched, which maybe a lot of you clicked off, which is also fine. As morbid as this is, I wanted to make this video primarily for myself, or like I said, my friends and loved ones when I'm gone, maybe. Because I have genuinely tried to fight this urge to take myself out of the game, because I didn't fit in the game for, honestly guys, as long as I can remember. I've been hearing that demonic voice, if you can call it that, or whatever it is, that voice that's like, you could just insert self-harming activity there, and it would be so much easier to take yourself out and everybody would be better off. I hate that voice. I don't know if I hate it because it's mean or because it's true. And that's what's got me so sad. I'm like, you know what, maybe that voice has a point. If I have no point, if there is no purpose to me, then let someone else incarnate into life in my place. Let me die and let someone else incarnate to do their thing. It just seems so like such a waste of life if I'm not living in my purpose at this point. So if this seemed like it was an attempt to get any kind of attention, or like I was just trying to bring bad vibes, I can assure you that I don't ever want to do that. I also needed, and as this is my channel, I needed a place to speak the truth, the full truth, just once. Like I said, I don't think I've ever spoken the whole truth to anyone ever. I've let, in terms of my family, it's like a tea kettle in a way. I've let little bits like steam out over they release in little increments over the years, because if I didn't, I would explode physically, and my health would probably be even worse than it is. So I'm very conscious of how long this is. I don't know how long it will be, if I edit it, if I will even edit it. just know that this video exists as an explanation for anyone who might have posthumously be wondering, why did I do that to myself? Or why was I so upset? Or what was I upset about? You will hopefully have some insight. I know that's not a nice thought. I'm having a harder and harder time contradicting my own urge to self-annihilate, perfectly honestly, and seeing that there's light at the end of the tunnel for any of this. It feels very self-defeating to have gone through a breakup at 40 years old. That was, anyway. And on top of it, to still just be feeling like, and I know, poor wording, but feeling unable to make a living, to make an income is, for me, one of the most infuriating and depressing at the same time things that I deal with, have ever dealt with, continue to deal with, but will maybe not be continuing to deal with. At any rate, that is what has got me so down. And I'm genuinely sat here like, should I bother eating? Should I bother doing anything? Why am I even filming this? No one's gonna watch this. No one's listening to this. You're such a waste of space. You'd be better off. This is where my head is. So I don't want to make this any longer. It's crazy that it's this long already. I'm sorry. I just needed to get this out of my system. It was physically... You guys know that I'm working on my physical health, and today I woke up and I feel like I'm ready to give up. I woke up feeling nauseous for no reason. That's almost every day, by the way. I spend most of my days nauseous. Again, don't know why. Does not matter what I eat. Healthy food, unhealthy food, whatever I eat, it all hurts my stomach. My doctors have no idea. They want me to eat protein, which I can tell you is fundamentally not helping me. Every time I eat protein, I'm in massively more pain. So I don't know if there's any good way to end this, actually. I hope that if you've ever been in this position, that you didn't do it. I hope that you didn't take yourself out of the game. And even though I'm saying it sort of half-spiritedly in this moment, because honestly, most of me doesn't want to keep playing this life game anymore and is really disheartened and just sad with the way things are playing out for me. It's so insane, guys. Like, I'm genuinely happy for the people that I see achieving the things in like the few friends that I do have, or the acquaintances and whatever. I'm genuinely chuffed for them when they're doing well, like genuinely excited and happy, and I share their excitement. And then I come back to my life and I'm like, what is my life for, though? So if you've been with me for this long, I really do appreciate you listening. I'm hoping this will help someone somehow. And if not, that it serves as an explanation to my family and friends as to why I just couldn't do this anymore, because this is not a conversation. Although verbally, this may be the first time that some people are hearing this. This conversation for me, in my head, in my body, in my brain, in my mind, is old. It's well ingrained. And false belief works or not, I find myself still very much believing that the world would be a better place without me in it. So I hope that somehow this video serves someone in some way, and I don't even pretend to know how. And I appreciate you guys letting me have the space to be EmOrganically, my authentic self. That's the dualistic nature of this channel, besides what I wanted to share and teach here, is it's a channel about my authentic self, hence EmOrganically, my organic self. And this is probably the most organic and most difficult video I've ever made in my whole life. It's not something I want to post, and anyway. So if you're feeling down, no, you know what? I'm not even going to end this in some trite, stupid, cliche statement, because you know what? Here's the problem. If you're feeling upset, feel it. This toxic positivity culture thing has got to stop. Like, feel the negative emotions, because if you don't, I am the living proof that the kettle of boiling water underneath will just come to a point where your nervous system's shot, your mind is shot, and you just want to be like, you know what? I'm good, out of the game, thanks. So anyway, I appreciate you having been here. I don't know how much editing, if any editing, this will see, but it's awfully long, so I may chop out some unnecessary rambles. If you have stayed here listening, thank you. It really does mean something to me that anybody listens to my videos ever. And I am always, literally always shocked and astounded. Whenever someone comments on my videos, I'm like, oh. Whenever a video gets a little popular, I'm like, oh my God, why? What? So just know that I really do deeply appreciate every single one of you viewers, whether I know you personally or I don't. And know that even though I'm coming from this place and I'm saying all the stuff that I've said, that I really do still hope that you out there, whoever you are watching this, that you don't take yourself out, because life is, I do believe these things I say, life is really beautiful, and it's really beautiful. And that's a part of what makes me so sad, because it's like, well, but I don't get to be a part of it. So maybe that's why I've always strived, whatever word it is, to make people laugh, because I know all too well what it feels like not to laugh. So if this video has helped you, or you know anyone that it might help, feel free to share it. Subscribe if you like to. If you've liked any of my other content, this not being the typical thing. Hi, if you're new, I'm so sorry. This is the first video you're seeing. This is not my normal way. And last but not least, really and truly, if I do end up staying, which I'm not willing to make any promises about, however, if I do, it would be my pleasure if you reach out to help you in any way that I can, particularly health. That's my area of expertise. Not mental health, of course, but physical health. So have a beautiful and a blessed rest of your day. I'm sorry for this downer. Thank you again, really, for listening to me. And may you never feel the way that I feel. May you never, never experience the depths of sorrow to which you can fall. Even if you're having a great time in your life, you can still fall and trip at the most random times and be in a hole looking up, and there might not be anyone to hold a hand down, and that's the position that I kind of find myself in. So just know that someone cares about you, and that someone's me, and I really do. This is why I care. No, it's not the only reason I care, but I mean, I do also care about people, because I know what it feels like to have no one take you in and no one really care. So at long-winded, long last, have a beautiful and a blessed rest of your day or night whenever you're seeing this. I wish you so much love. Namaste, and stay healthy.